Hey everybody, welcome back to Sensei Steve Says, hosted by Shiage Do Martial Arts. Today again I have Sifu with me and we're going to be doing some heavy bag drills that you can do with a partner. The first one we're going to work on is having a heavy bag in front of you that is moving around and so that you have to hit around. So what your partner's going to do is they're going to throw on like a sparring glove, or if you have a blocker or focus mitt or something like that, just something that'll get in your way without necessarily being in danger of getting struck. So Sifu, I'm going to have him stand off to the side here, and what he's going to do is he's just going to have his hand moving it around in front of my access to the bag. So while I'm on the bag here, what I'm going to be doing is trying to strike around his hand without hitting him. Okay, now again, if you got this blocker, these are great. These are from Sensei. They're called catch and throw mitts. They actually have padding on the hand, so if I do smash his hand, it's padding like it's meant to be hit there. So the chances of me causing damage are pretty low. So I can go pretty hard with this, but it's going to be punching and kicking if you can get it in there. Go for about 30 seconds to a minute to warm up, where you're just kind of picking the speed up a little bit, but not necessarily hitting too hard, right? What I mean by that is, I might just throw these punches where it's moving a little bit, just to warm up, get my ligaments kind of loosened up, my wrists and stuff tightened up to where they need to be before I start blasting these things as hard as I can, okay? So we're gonna work on that one, work it up a couple times. Start it nice and easy, maybe do it for a minute, 30 seconds off, do it for a minute, 30 seconds off, do it for your last minute, power, hitting this thing like you mean it, okay? The second thing we're going to do is we're going to have Sifu stand right behind the bag for me. He's basically going to put his knee against the base here so that he can, he's supporting it, but he's going to be attacking me around this thing. So he's going to be throwing, he's going to come around just a little bit so he can actually reach me, because that's the only way this is actually going to work. So he's going to be throwing his blocks and punches, right, or his punches and strikes, as I'm hitting the bag. So he's providing a little bit of resistance, right, and if I don't have a good guard, he's going to clock me on the side of the head here a couple times, right, and it's just, I'm moving, he's moving, following me, right, and if you got two of those mitts, you can go back and forth on it, work with your partner. If you're doing this with a partner who wants to also be training, do it for a minute. Take 15 seconds to swap gear out. Do it for a minute. 15 seconds to swap gear out. Give each of you 2 chances to do it for a minute each. That's going to build up some of these blocking and punching skills where you can really hit the bag like you mean it. The next one, what we're going to do, see if we want to take that one off, is dealing with some movement of the bag, right? So if I'm in a fight, obviously the other person's not just going to stand here, you know, like a bump on a pickle, not doing anything. They're going to be moving around. Now, if you have a bag like this that's freestanding on the ground, it is hard to simulate that without a partner. If you have a hanging one, you can make it a little easier because it has the ability to swing. But what you want to do is you're going to have your partner, and one of you is going to throw hook punches coming around the bag so that it's kind of twisting side to side. The other one's going to be throwing straight punches. Now when you guys are doing this, understand that you're both punching at the same time. Some of your punches are going to get jammed up. Some of them are going to miss completely. Okay, so that is good training for actually being in like a fight competition or something like that, because the other person's going to be moving around. They might move back, they might move in. If they jam your punch because they step too close to it, you have to be ready for it. If you miss, you know, you have to be ready for that. So this is going to help you train a little bit for that too. What it's going to be is a minute. So your partner's going to throw hook punches, right? He's going to get this bag moving for me. And I'm throwing straight punches at the same time. So he's making the bag move around, and I'm making the bag move forward and back. And between the two of us, based on just our timing and whatever, it's going to be in a different spot every time we try to hit it, okay? So work that one for a minute, take 15 seconds, switch roles, take 15 seconds and do that back and forth a couple times to give yourself some moving bag experience. All right, we got one last one that we're going to do, and that is some punch kick drills. Now, punch kick drills work really well if you study like Kyokushin, or if you do full power techniques in tournament where leg kicks are allowed. Muay Thai does this a lot. Kyokushin karate, Isshin Ryu Karate is starting to get into it with some of their rules. So one of the ways that we practice this is with our shin kicks. So the first one, your partner's just going to hold the bag for you. It's just going to be punch kick, punch kick. Okay, just like the Queen song. All right, punch kick. Okay, so what I'm doing, I might do the same target for my punches, but my kicks are going to be at quad level. Okay, so I'm doing these kicks. Right, I want that kick to be strong. I want that punches to be strong. So I'm going to be working pretty hard here, but I want that punch kick, punch kick. Right, it could be punch kick, really fast, but I want them to be all together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch. Okay. Now, what we're going to do for this next part, though, is work on some shin conditioning. So stick around. We'll be right back. So the next thing we're going to work on is some shin conditioning. So what I did with this is, on the center of my Wave Master bags, there is a hard plastic center. Now mine happens to be filled with concrete sand. I did that because when I filled it with water, although it's nice and heavy, it tends to leak when you crack the seams. Sand's a much bigger particle, so when it cracks the seams a little bit, you can usually glue it shut or something like that. It's going to keep the sand inside. It doesn't have to be watertight. Now, with that being said, that post in the middle is pretty hard, but it's also plastic. So if you start bashing that with your shin, you're going to do some real damage to it. So what I did was I took 3 regular bath towels, tied them in a knot, so that the knot is on the side that I'm going to be kicking. That's going to give me a little bit of padding between the hard thing and my shin. If you don't have a bag like this, you can strap a kick shield to a tree or something like that. Just make sure that you take it off the tree, because that's how you kill trees, is you tie things around them. So just keep that in mind. So now when I'm doing this, I'm going to do that same punch kick drill, but now when I'm doing my kick, I'm doing it with my shin into this post. Okay, so I'm going to work that one back and forth a few times. Alright, that's going to build up the calluses and the conditioning of my shin so that I can do a real good kick, either to the bottom of the quad or the top of the calf, to basically take somebody's leg out from under them. Okay? But that timing is still going to be the same. Punch, kick. Now it could be high punch, middle punch, kick. It could be middle punch, kick. It could be high punch, kick. It doesn't really matter. Mix them up. Okay? Because what you're doing is you're getting their guard up. They're thinking about bringing this up, and then you're blasting them in the leg. Okay? It's a very effective combo. It works even when you know it's coming, because even if you know it's coming and you brace for that leg kick, you can only take so many of those. Especially if you practice this and you get your shins nice and hard, it tends to really suck. So you're going to practice that one. You can go back and forth with your partner on that one, where if I do punch, kick, he does punch, and then he kicks. Alright, and we can do it on the same side, so we're both kicking the thing, or not, however you want to do it. The world's your oyster. This is round, so you can stand on either side of it. The last one we're going to do for today is working on the pocket front kick. Now, depending on which version of rules that you're sparring under, the pocket front kick is incredibly effective. Okay, what I mean by the pocket front kick is if Sifu is standing in front of me, he goes to step in to do something, it doesn't matter what, I'm kicking him literally in the place where his pockets would be if he were wearing jeans. Now, if you're sparring in a style that allows leg kicks, you're all good with that pocket kick all day long. If you're sparring a style that only allows kicks above the belt, what I'm going to do is do the ball of my foot right above his belt. Okay, my goal is to literally kick the top of his belt into his stomach, because that's going to aim for the hips still. And what I want to try to do is reduce the amount of space into his back and his abs that he can absorb the space there. If I kick below his hips, there's really nowhere for that to go. Your body won't let you absorb that anywhere but back. Whereas if you get hit in the ribs, you can kind of like suck down into it and keep some of your force there. It's less effective to kick somebody there, but you're kicking them in the stomach. So if they're not ready for that kind of contact, it's also very effective, okay? Belly button kicks work great. So this one, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna change up. It's still gonna be punch, punch, kick, but now instead of roundhouse kick to the leg, it's gonna be punch, punch, kick, right? To the either the pocket level or the belly button level. If you really wanna do this, you know, and get some good training with it, you can just tie a belt, you know, around your bag and kick above it, kick below it. All right, it's easy to do. You don't need anything special for that. All right, so practice that one back and forth with your partner a few times, and then that's it for today. So, a couple quick announcements. We are coming in New York State. We're coming to the point where we are slowly being allowed to open stuff up, and hopefully next week that is including karate schools, which is pretty exciting for me because I've been teaching karate through my phone for the last 3 months, and it's way more fun to do that in person, so obviously I'm looking forward to it. But with that being said, we are going to continue doing our YouTube classes even after we reopen our regular school. For those of you guys who are interested in doing distance learning, stuff like that, we're just going to be changing up our release schedule just a little bit to make it more conducive for us to get that material out. This week is going to be our last week of Zoom classes for a little while. If you're a Patreon member, have no fear, the Zoom classes will restart. And this week is our Kata COVID catch-up class. So make sure if you sign up for that, that you show up to that. With that, that is what I have. You guys are awesome. You guys are